Okay, so I spent all day today herring off down a not quite a brand new road. I've told you guys a little bit about this. But I'm shooting 50 BMGs as the weather permits, building up my database. Everything's going fine. And I decided to not resurrect, but kind of resurrect my fart project. I spent the last few episodes explaining why I'm doing it and what I'm doing. And I'm bringing it into the mix. And that stimulated me to something else entirely. The fart is a kind of a copy, kind of an offshoot, kind of a... I started with the same case as the Whisper cartridge, 510 Whisper. And in making up good cases, that's just a pain in the butt. It's a joke. So I got this wild hair to revisit something that I thought about a long time ago, which is building a Subsonic 50 cal on a more readily available case. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to take this all the way to, bam, I want something that you can take a case, cut it off into bandsaw or whatever you've got, pipe cutter or whatever, shorten it up, head space off. It's been evolving. It's been evolving. I'm going where no one's gone before here. And I want to take you with me. I want to go through this because I've had the opportunity in my life to do a lot of cool stuff. And I'm very passionate about it. I want my kids to be able to do cool stuff. I want everybody to be able to do cool stuff. Because cool stuff makes the world go around. But you know what's funny? I got set back a little bit today. Because here I am herring off into the wild blue yonder, doing something that's unexplored. There are no roads here. There are no signposts. No written laws. I'm quoting a little Corb Lund there. If any of you like gutsy real music, you owe it to yourself to know Ray Wylie Hubbard and Corb Lund. 90% of all the music in the world has died on the vine the last few years. Oddly enough, this is funny, just to give you an idea how sick I am. One of the few honest people I've heard in songwriting in the last 10 years is somebody named Taylor Swift. I don't even really like her stuff. But it obviously comes from her guts. So, Corb Lund. Anyway, but where we're going, we have to know why things work. And I'm realizing that I get kicked off of forums like I go through rolls of toilet paper because I trigger people. And here I have the freedom, so I'm not too worried about triggering people. But it frustrates me, it bothers me, it hurts me in my tummy. I took a break today and was perusing the forums. And the very first post at the top of the page, right under the sticky that says no political discussion is allowed on this forum, is new law in Oregon, blah, 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 and all the things that go along with it. So to make their points, because most people on forums are unable to make their own points, this was one that featured a lot of YouTube videos of people talking about this law and other similar laws and the world at large. I'm looking for my coffee cup here. I'm dying. I'm getting dry. Ah, well. And something leapt off the page in me. Something it's been in the back of my mind forever, but today it just slammed me. We're talking about serious stuff here. We're talking about a law that could impact Oregonians right across the border for me. I'm a Washingtonian. It's going to impact all of us. because we're dumbasses, we're stupid, we're non-voting, non-involved. And here's what supports that position. I want to bring you on this journey. I want to bring you doing this thing. And here's the thing. Pass or fail, I don't care. It might be the dumbest cartridge ever developed. But 510 Whisper, the 50 Fart, has extra case capacity, more than it needs. As I said one time, when I set mine up, I ran powders all the way from the hottest, fastest pistol and shotgun powders, the uniques, the blue dots, the red dots, all the way up through the middle, the 4350s, the Vargets, and all the way up. I can get, the case is big enough that I can get it to push 750s up to my 1050 foot per second plateau, using powders as slow as H1000 and Retumbo. So I built up these loading, and they all have different characteristics. And what I'm looking for, as I've been talking to you about in the 50 BMG project, is low ES. And this is hideously important with this super loopy trajectory this guy's going to have. If you're shooting at an elk at 538 yards and you misjudge by 20 yards, you're going to completely miss the animal, high or low. And if your ES drops or fluctuates 20, 30, 40 feet per second, you might also miss the animal. And worse than that, you might injure the animal, which is worse than missing. It's one of those bittersweet things. I talked about bittersweet before. We all know what that's about. I missed, but at least I didn't hurt him. That means I missed really big. That means I sucked twice as bad as I wished I sucked. But at least I don't have an animal out there with a chunk of muscle blown out of its leg. Ethics is a thing. And I believe in it. So anyway, I need to find the powder that burns hot enough. And trust me, I know of a man dead from a PPC. Smallest case on the planet that gets used a lot. Blew up the gun, died. So, even this little tiny case here, plenty of room to hurt you. And we're going to a place where nobody's ever been before. I'd like to take you along while we go through and work through. We're talking, I've done a lot of wildcatting. Wildcatting, like I built a 338 McCallum, and I just went to the loading manuals and said, okay, what's similar? You got your 338 edges, you got your 338, 378, you got your blah. That's easy. This now is brand new. I'm cutting the case capacity down by 50%. That means my energies are all going to be all over totally different. But as I was saying, I took it, and this is why I have to make, this isn't really a caveat, this is just a warning to you guys. I'm watching this, and then I browsed the forums, and it just so happened that on the forums that I was looking at, there were 5 or 6 YouTube videos, 5 or 6 articles referenced. And it's like, I will try to find out if I want to watch a new movie or not. I read the reviews, but then after that I go down and read the comments. I can learn more from the comments. The forum is nothing but comments. And it just crushes my heartbone when I see that the most common thread, the most common comment regarding somebody's presentation of gun laws, gun rules, questionable subjects, is that a huge preponderance of the people on there will preface with comments like, I really love this guy, I really like this guy, he's a really nice guy, he never gets all up in your face. He presents well and he never is confrontational. You know what that means? He's a pussy. That means that he's, in most cases, not really saying anything. He's kind of riding the fence. And I need to tell you that, people, if you're being knocked back and confronted by a talking head on your laptop while you sit in the comfort and safety of your own home, don't come on this journey with me. anytime somebody I get kicked off of forums, as I said, because when real subjects come up, I stand up on my hind feet and I get passionate about it. And people just melt and run into the bushes, and it's sad to me. It's terrible. It's sad, 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 sad. I teach hunter ed here, and I teach my students. Not my students, there's 4 or 5 of us instructors, but one of my messages is, number one, question your reality every day. Don't believe anything. Don't believe anybody. And understand that the people you respect, when you start to back off and look, things are going to happen. Like, you're going to get out of here, you're going to be a safe person, you're going to go out into hunting camp, and Uncle Fred's going to be waving guns around and drinking beer and talking crap, and you're going to go, whoa, Fred, hey, this is... And these are the kind of subjects that if you confront, if you even broach a subject, people think you're getting all up in your grill. And that's terrifying to me. And I mean that, absolutely. America cannot survive if people are triggered and terrified. If your Trump derangement syndrome is so severe, if you're such a snowflake that you can't confront this feelings generated by some talking head, if the face on your laptop offends you, if somebody's manner gets all up so that you can't even listen to what he has to say, you're not an adult. You're a snowflake. And these are real, we're going on a really fun journey here. But you know what? If you're going to go run the Grand Canyon in a 3-man rubber raft and bring your food with you and have a true adventure for a week or 3, it ain't safe, people. And I'm just saying, if you're going to get butthurt by us going into a place, if you're bothered by going to a place where there are no health and safety rules, if you believe OSHA, if you believe these people that go to the reloading manuals and they get in trouble, they get a hot load or something, and then they go, well, why didn't that happen? It's right here in the book. How can they do that to me? It's in the book. And I put it in my gun and it can't be overpressed. I mean, my primers have fallen out on the ground and the gun smells funny. So help me out here, guys. What? Dude, seriously, that's retarded. You shouldn't be reloading. And the things that you watch on the internet that are bothering you, you should just turn away. The most common memes and videos on the internet have to do with pandas falling out of trees and kittens, cats looking you in the eye and being super cute, and doggies. And I understand completely why animal memes and bird memes and all of this are so popular, because they don't confront anybody. Common to my culture is dog people. What dog people can't see is that the reason they love their dog so much is because, and they'll say this right in your face, man's best friend is the best thing in the world, and the reason is he loves you unconditionally. Do you hear what you just said? You're an asshole. If it's important to you to be loved unconditionally, that means you suck at life. If your dog is your best friend because he loves you even when you're a dick to your dog, that's what unconditionally means. Yeah, I can do bad stuff. I can get mad and kick my dog and he will still love me. And these are the people that get triggered when somebody comes up and says, hey, we got to think this through here. We've got to do better. So let me be really, really clear. If you want to go through life with no responsibility and you don't want to watch risk and you don't want to understand anything, don't come with me while I go check out this cartridge, because this could go sideways. I think it's going to be the coolest thing in the world, and I'm not going to be do anything unsafe. It's going to be fun. It is fun. But I need to be aware. There's some people that are going to be triggered by the fact that there are no headspace gauges. There is no... I tell people, hey, go out and try this stuff. I've had a couple people already come to me and say, you know, I'd love to go try this stuff, but I'm kind of scared. I can't find it in the manual. I can't find it in the book. Alternately, I have a ton of people who will go to thrift stores and to flea markets to find a 1968 edition of a reloading manual that'll tell him that 52 grains of 4831 is safe in this cartridge. And they'll go out and load. This thing started because I took a gun that had been blown up so many times that I was almost scared to fire it, and I cut it out and made a a 338 Lapua bolt face, 416 bolt face, and started this project from scratch, kind of copying not copying the 510 Whisper, but doing my iteration of it. And to do that kind of stuff, you have to know how to find max pressure. People who go, they think it's safe, and because basically then they say, well, I found it in a reloading manual, so if it blew up and took my right eye apart, that's not my fault, because right there in the reloading manual it says 54 grains of 4831 in this bullet, and that's not even childish, people. That is just dangerous. That is way, way, way dangerous. The simple fact is that people hide behind the OSHA rules, and they hide behind the WSHA rules. I knew a guy got in a car wreck on a wet, slimy road, and his defense to the cop was, well, the speed limit here was 65. Makes my head explode. People, we have to know why. And so I'm going to tell you one last time. For any of you feeble-minded people that want rules, go watch kitten videos. Because we're going where the rules are not. Starting now. And it's not going to be dangerous, and it's not going to be bad, and it's not going to be anything. And during the course of this, we'll be able to actually look at and explore pressure signs. We're going to make pressure signs, people. We have to take this case. This is fun because I just decided I'm going to take this thing all the way and find out if I can make it work. And as I've said before, warts, feathers, and all in front of God and everybody. So from day one, those who are interested can come along and find out if it's going to be possible for this little tiny pistol looking case to push a 1,000 grain bullet up to the edge of subsonic, somewhere around 1,000, 1,050-ish, depending on conditions. And dump a full ton of energy on an elk at 600 yards with only 17 inches of wind drift. That's astounding. Once you can get your head wrapped around the fact that there are no laser beams, that anytime you take long shots, and I don't care, the fastest, hottest, rippingest cartridge cases in the world might open your window up a few yards, but that's it. Bow hunters learn this the hard way right up front, because everything is dock a zero off. And you start seeing the bow's trajectory. Well, this is still a badass cartridge. Now, the question of can we make it happen on this, what I've done now is I've gone straight to 404. I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've got here. First, I'm going to swing over. I'm done ranting. I'm going to go off now and have some fun doing what we do. Reminding myself that I'm dry and I don't have any coffee. It's really handy to have one of these, guys. I'm not going to... This is a Lyman Power Universal Trimmer, blah, blah. It's got a case in it here. You can just see it from there. These cases start out... I've taken it another way now. I went into my box and I found... I'm going to use up some stock that I'm never going to use otherwise. I have a whole pile of Virgin 404 Jeffrey cases that I can't, they're not fun to work with. So these are cut clear down to under 2 inches. And they're based on the actual base case of the RUM, the 404 Jeffrey. So we're starting with a 2-inch long case here. Now, understand, these can be made from Remington RUM brass. It's just that the shoulder on the RUM is for the Jeffrey's got such an old-fashioned shoulder that you can only get about 2 inches usable. And because I have a lathe and all that, and I'm cool like that, I've been building. That thing over there takes collets, and I built and sized collets until I found one that would go right into, aha, there we go. There's my fit, there's my collet right there, to trim these to length. This is step number 1, is to take, I'm taking 404 Jeffrey cases, unfired, brandy new, trimming them back on there, and for initial firing, we're going to fire off the case mouth, just like a 45 ACP. What I'm trying to come up with now is something you can basically do at home. This is why I call this next level. This could be freaking next level awesome cool, or it could be dumb I ever saw. That didn't work very good. While I'm here, this box has my favorite neck turning contraption in it, by the way. I'm going to, there's a love-hate thing here. To keep this working, you got to have several of them. And the first thing you need to do is when the irises quit working on one, you need to get a good pair of snap ring pliers and pop this snap ring out of here and take it apart and figure out how to keep them running. I keep all mine running now just fine because I know how to. This is the best. I'm going to probably have to end up turning some necks on these, and to do it, I'm going to do it old school. Because I'm going to be doing it with soft brass. But here's my plan. This is why I say this is, the way I do this channel is unique in the sense that I don't do stuff and then come and show you what I did. I think it's more fun and it's better and it's more meaningful and we learn more when we go out and do this together. I'm inviting you together. But I'm warning you that the journey is hard and things happen and there is no fallback here. I might waste, I don't know, 20-minute episodes. I might waste many hours of your life and then find out, oops, that was dumb. Let's go back to the 510 whisper concept and the 50 fart. But in the meantime, I'd be hoping some of you will hang in and go with me on a trip to find out if we can make a very common case work. Should be the fart blossom. See if we can make the fart blossom smell good.